right, without further ado, I'm excited to bring on all the way from Israel, Miss Gila, Nehemia. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
And why don't, because I hate butchering anything, say your name for us all.
You said it great, Gila Nehemia.
Okay, beautiful. Welcome. First, thank you so much for joining us from Israel.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. So I'm really excited about your workshop, but we'll talk about that in a minute. But I just had to say that. Why don't you let everybody know just a little bit about you and the work that you do in the world?
Thank you. I'm a sacred erotic love coach, poet, and author. And the work that I do is to help all men and women to really embody their deepest desires. You know, I talk about eroticism because my own journey was about following my erotic desires, and the clients that I guide, I use their erotic desires to actually move them through fear and into love. You know, many of the panelists that have already been before me talked a little bit about stuff that I do as well. So I'm so glad that they're going to be either giving a workshop or doing one-on-ones. I mean, I'm really honored to be a part of all of this. And so what I do is I help people to follow their deepest desires, to get them to a place of deep, deep self-love and to be with their divine partners, whoever that may be. And it's a path of going through a lot of fear, you know, because we have so much judgment and shame in our lives, and so many patterns that, you know, many of the previous presenters talked about as well. So many limiting beliefs that stop us from really fulfilling the goals of our soul. You know, I feel our desires are actually messages from our soul. So when you follow them, it's like elation, because you finally have, you know, gone through this, like, you know, roof, you know, like this limit that you put on yourself all your life. And it's, you know, it's not only orgasmic, it's like reaching a spiritual consciousness. So that's, you know, that's really part of my whole program.
Love that. And I love that. Well, first, that you just embody that. I mean, just your passion overall. You know, I watch a lot of your videos and things and the work that you do, and you're so passionate about what it is that you do. And I feel like that's what happens when people come around you. So I love that you're sharing that in the world in general, and then you're also bringing that to us at SoulTreat. I'm curious, and all of us here who want to live our best lives, what would you say is your number one, your top tip for us to live our best life?
That's a really good question. So my top tip is really to release emotion. I use writing. I'm a poet, and that's actually how my poetry came out of my deep connection with my partner. So when we actually allow ourselves to use writing or any creative act that we're truly, truly passionate about, we release so much emotion that we are then able to move through that to our next level, to our best life. And if we hold ourselves back, because there are many clients that I talk to that, you know, they're painters, but they don't have time right now. Or, you know, they're writers, but they won't publish it. But so what I say to my clients is, go to that step, go to the thing that scares you with your art, with your creative power, because that's what's going to move not only you, but everyone around you to connect to your heart space. Because that's, I feel like, our creative power and even our eroticism is all in the sacral chakra, which connects to our heart. For those of you who don't know where the sacral chakra is, it's the sexual organs. So that is connected to our heart, to our desire. So it's a direct connection that then goes to spirituality. So when you open up to your creative power, that is your emotion that opens you up to your best life.
Gila, I love that. I, for one, and everyone knows probably that my God-given talent is being creative, is being an artist. So that's actually my God-given talent. And then I came down this road as an inspirational person and created the Wellness Universe. But I will tell you that it is almost like kind of tricking yourself into healing when you're using a creative method, because it's like I feel this way, but how do I feel better? And it's like, do I go to a therapist? Do I do this? And then you feel like you are conditioned to do something, and you have to take some sort of step for something else to happen or for you not to feel a certain way. However, if you drop into yourself and you channel a creative process, whether it be painting, whether it be music, whether it be writing, this is something that's channeled from the divine. Something that never existed before now exists because of what you've created through the channel of creativity, no matter how it's expressed. And that pulls stuff out of you as well as brings stuff in. So I think it's so important. And we had this before, and one of our friends, Laura, is so good at this. And I'm so glad that you do this, and the writing and the creative and using the creative channel, because it really is, it's a two-way street. Things flow out, things flow in. It's like, and there's no expectations, as long as you don't put any expectations on yourself. And you don't need to be a world-class writer. You don't need to be a sculptor or an artist of, epic proportions. It's just for you. And to know it's just for you, that's when the most healing takes place, right?
Right. Exactly.
I thank you for doing the work that you do, Gila, and
I'm not passionate about this at all.
I know. I am so passionate about this, and I love it. And I love that time, because I feel the healing when I could take the time for myself. Because there's the physical things that we can do, like when I say I go out on a nature walk and I'm doing my breathing and I'm taking in all of the essences from whatever's going on around me. But when I'm truly in creative mode, it's a whole nother layer. It's a whole nother layer that you experience. You can go into a meditation while you're doing it. It's mind blowing, the therapeutic benefits. But anyway, so
and that's why we were so excited to bring you, and why when we were creating this, I was like, we need something creative there, And so why don't you share with us exactly what people can experience when they come to your workshop at SoulTreat?
So what you're going to be experiencing when you come to my workshop at SoulTreat is, as Anna mentioned, intuitive journaling. So I'm going to give you some writing prompts that's actually going to, and without any, just like she said, just no form, no sentence, just any way that you write. And you are actually going to be channeling through these prompts, as well as, part of the eroticism, doing some orgasmic breathing. And I had just gone to India with my kids for 6 months. So I'm going to include some yogic techniques, all very streamlined in. I think it's about an hour and a half, my workshop. But it's all to bring you into your heart space. So some people actually, sometimes when they begin writing, they get very nervous. If they're not used to doing it, they're just like, what am I supposed to write? They're used to so many rules. And then when there aren't any rules, it becomes challenging. So when I bring in more breathing techniques and relax my clients more, then they feel more at ease and they trust themselves. So that's the reason for a little bit deeper breathing exercises that I'm going to be doing to get you back into your heart space.
So important, because I know as a writer that you just literally, like, when you don't give yourself that time, you just literally are in your head. And so the fact that you're sharing that with everybody is amazing. What can you say really quickly to people who, when you say the word orgasmic breathing, and they might freak out and be like, I don't want to be any part of that. What would you say to them? Because there's people like that.
That's the first thing that would get me there. No,
I know, exactly. I said, yeah, I'm coming.
I know, because I was there with you. But then there's the other half. So what would you say to anyone that might be thinking that?
It's a breathing technique that is, you're just really into yourself. It's not about, the reason why it's called orgasmic is because it can bring you into that ethereal world that you have when you're orgasming. I guess that's a word. When you have an orgasm, but it's all within you. I think that's what's so beautiful, because it actually does get you into that divine space that Anna and I were talking about. It gets you into the flow of creativity with just breathing. So, and it really helped one of my clients. She was so into it because it brought her out of her head and into her body and into her divinity. So what I would say is that it's a must. You should come, because who doesn't want to come into their divinity, into their own power? And if you can have that opportunity to at least experience it, take it.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it so much, Gila. I am feeling you, girl. Like, honest to God, like the different facets of all of everybody's what they're bringing. And sorry, it's getting dark here too, because I'm here in Bordeaux and it's pretty late. But it's mind blowing what you're bringing along with everybody else. And it's just, there's so many ways for us to heal, so many ways for us to experience who we are that we would never, ever be able to touch on any of these things. And it's all being brought under one umbrella. So thank you.
I was just going to say, though, it sounds like we need to get a VIP ticket because these workshops are going to be sold out first. So you can get your early registration and get into Gila.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing this, and thank you for letting me be a part of it. And yeah, I just wanted to say one last thing. Yes, it is very healing. I don't know if I emphasize that enough, but that's a really big part of all of my work. It's all about healing, because when we can heal, we can love ourselves so deeply that we then just emanate love, and love ripples down to all of our network. So I'm so grateful to be part of this, and you should come to SoulTreat because Anna and Shari and everyone who's presenting and being a part of this, we're just all incredible, and we know you are too, and we want to increase your your amazingness. So please come.
Couldn't have said it better. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Gila. Thank you so much. So honored to have you. Can't wait to give you a big hug in person.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.